Thank you. I'm the executive director for Changing Patterns, which is a nonprofit here in Central Oregon that works with individuals who are exiting the correctional system. We assist citizens returning from prison to successfully navigate the barriers and obstacles of reentry. Um,
Hello, all my fabulous listeners. Welcome back to my Courage, Confidence, and Connections podcast. I'm Janice Debo, your host, and my guest today is Frank Patka. We're going to have a lot of fun and learn all about what he's up to, how he's helping so many people. And I think he's got probably some updates from the last time he and I chatted, and you get to sit in on the conversation. So, welcome, Frank.
yeah, thank you, Janice. I'm looking forward to this conversation. We've tried to make this happen a few times.
We did. We did. I mean, I think it was in the summer when we did book this. So,
Yes.
yep, we're changing seasons again and get you on here before you head south.
Well, on a plus side, just that extra couple months has really helped us, at least given me a lot more information that I can bring to this. So
Oh,
it
great.
worked
Great.
out positive.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm going to give you a few minutes to tell our audience about what you do. We'll get into more detail as we go, but because I do want some history and backstory there. But tell to start with what it is you do.
Yeah, thank you. I'm the executive director for Changing Patterns, which is a nonprofit here in Central Oregon that works with individuals who are exiting the correctional system. We assist citizens returning from prison to successfully navigate the barriers and obstacles of reentry. Um, what we do is we provide a group support for individuals to set goals and build a healthy support system. And then we use peer support to provide one-on-one mentoring and then advocacy to connect them with resources. Our whole purpose is to um, really lower recidivism and create a sense of belonging for all its community members. We focus specifically on those getting out of prison. Uh, our our kind of motto or like our only requirement for someone to come in is a commitment to no new crime. If you don't commit a new crime, we can assist you in all the ways possible in moving forward in your life. Our goal is within the first 90 days to get a client set up and connected to all the essential resources. And then from like housing, transportation, employment, make sure their documentation, have all their documentation, bank account, healthcare, work on any legal issues that they might have still. And then once that's all established, really focus on where do they want to go with this new life that they have. If you don't commit a new crime, then you have the rest of life to live. And so we want to know, what do you want to do? What's your purpose? And how do we help you get there?
That is fantastic. And it's a much needed service. And you guys have addressed everything possible, it sounds like. Well, my question is, and now I do know some of the answers, but our audience does not. And I want to get an idea and give the perspective of how you got to doing this, but what is your backstory? What is your passion, your motivation, and what drew you into this line of work?
Um, So in 2010, I was arrested for a robbery
Oh,
and sentenced to 5 years, 10 months in prisons. Um, and when I got sentenced to prison, it was under the Measure 11 Act here in Oregon, which is just mandatory sentencing. No good time, which is what means you don't have any good time or anything. You just do your time. And at first, that gave me this perspective that it didn't matter whether I did anything positive. I couldn't earn any good time, so I just might as well do whatever I want. And shortly into that process, I started going to the hole and spending time in solitary confinement.
mm,
And when that happened, while I was in the last time, summer 2011, I got a letter from a friend of mine named Jeremy Cham. And that letter, he and I used to live at the same house. And here I was sitting in this bathroom that I was locked in by myself. And I'm looking at this, I'm reading his letter, and I'm seeing pictures of him on white sandy beaches at a company Christmas party down in the Bahamas or Jamaica, and him talking about all of what he's doing. And it dawned on me just not 2 years before that, we were living in the same house, just rooms across from each other, and
Wow.
how different our lives were, and based on the choices we made. And that was probably a big like turning point for me. That at least told me, oh, I messed up. That was I made some poor decisions here. Here I am locked in a bathroom and he's living this amazing life. And so when I got out of the hole that last time, I knew what I didn't want. I didn't want this lifestyle anymore. Here's this criminal lifestyle that I looked up to so much, and I finally like found out what the retirement plan looked like and was not interested. So I say I'm a lucky one because when I got out of the hole last time, I got a new counselor named Mr. Morrison. And Mr. Morrison, for whatever reason, saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And he asked me, do you want to keep doing this prison stuff, or do you want to learn something cool? He didn't use the word stuff, but I'll have respect for any kind of younger listeners.
Get it.
But
Get it.
yeah, I was like, I just spent the summer in a bathroom. I'm
Mm.
open to anything really. And so he introduced me to this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh, yes.
And along with that, he made a deal with me that if I would read the books that he suggested and try the classes that he suggested, then he would work with me as far as like mentoring me and guiding me. And so, I bit. I first I read Think and Grow Rich cover to cover twice, and was like, oh, I just found my Bible. This book is speaking on all the things I'm looking for. Taking ideas and using our imagination to create something that will be real and tangible.
Yeah.
And though I didn't have the experience, I did have the faith and belief that this was something that was worth it. Um, so my counselor was mentoring me, and I was open to these ideas. He suggested that I start going to Toastmasters, so I started going to Toastmasters to work on public speaking and leadership, and really just started this process of rebuilding this new person that I was becoming, creating a sense of self-worth that wasn't there anymore. And so, one of the principles that Mr. Morrison really pounded in was teach others to teach others to teach others. And that concept that he always told me gave me kind of the courage or the confidence to like share with those around me what I was learning. Because without that, I would never have talked about it because like, well, who teaches what they're just learning? That's seems ridiculous, right? Like, oh, I just learned this, now I'm going to teach it. So he just instilled that in me, and uh, yeah, I would be walking around and talking to people about Think and Grow Rich, or when we started to get into stock investment, we started a mock stock club, and we all tried to figure out how to learn this thing called the stock market. And so this process of teaching others to teach others to teach others really became a like a value within myself. And then later, I ended up finally moving to a different institution, and there I was part of a grassroots movement that was promoting like culture change within the prison. And
Oh,
so, from an antisocial culture into a prosocial culture, and that that experience right there of being part of this culture changing movement um really kind of cemented my uh belief or my understanding that this is what was here to do. I wanted to stir the pot in the system that I was now introduced to, that I saw was not doing the community justice,
yeah.
um, and see what kind of like change we can create. It was really fun. It was exciting to me. It was um, empowering to like elicit change in a culture that did not want it. And like we were successful at it. And we started this movement called the Pro-Social Communication Work Group
Hmm.
where our um the whole institution shifted from this prison mindset to this reentry mindset and doing your time with a purpose and how can you do your time with this purpose and intention on supporting what that looks like when you get out. And so all that kind of like while I was in prison led into what we're doing now with changing patterns.
Oh yeah, that is fantastic. I mean, I've heard your story, but I didn't know that whole part about what you were doing while you were in prison. So that was preparing you and laying the groundwork.
Mhm.
And so when you got out, how long was it before you you started your endeavor that you're doing now?
Well, so we started changing patterns in December of 2017. I got
Okay.
out in November of 2015.
Oh, okay.
Uh, it kind of started pretty quick though. Um, what happened was like when I got out, I had a healthy support system.
Mm-hmm.
I had access to resources, including like a job, transportation, housing, and stuff. And then I had a mentor. I had somebody providing education on assisting me in navigating back into the community. And what do you know? I was successful in my reentry. I completed my supervision, and I started to like build a pro-social life, where like I had a sense of belonging. At the same time, when friends of mine started to get out, they had different outcomes. Even though I was with them when they were changing their life in prison,
Mm-hmm.
um, when they got out, all of a sudden their outcomes were different. Some of them wound up homeless,
Ooh.
back in prison. Some of them aren't with us anymore. So all
Oh,
of a sudden, I'm like looking at this process, saying, we were all together doing the same thing in prison.
yeah.
And then when we got out, the outcomes changed. So then I started looking at it. Well, what was the difference between me and them? And again, I go back to I had access to resources, I had a healthy support system, and I had opportunities to be successful and to find purpose. Where they didn't have one or all of those things, whatever that might be. And
Mm.
so with that, we started changing patterns with the purpose to basically provide a healthy support system for those who didn't have one. I saw what I had and that it worked, and I wanted to replicate it and provide that to others
Sure.
for multiple reasons. One, because it's healthier for the community. I love my community. I live here in Central Oregon. I grew up here. I terrorized it, and now I want to be part of the solution for it. So there's that piece of it.
Yeah.
But then also, when I was in prison, I met a lot of really incredible, valuable, and impactful human beings who uh, were products of, yes, their choices, but also products of addiction, mental health issues, childhood trauma, all these other things that they weren't given the chance. I like to say I was a guest when I went to prison because
Okay.
my life wasn't necessarily like a lot of theirs. A lot of people whose lifestyle was going to prison and criminal and survival.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but so there's a lot of these individuals that if they had the opportunity to to believe in their ability to be successful and see their self-worth, I firmly believe that they could be incredibly impactful into the community. And we see this so much now more than ever, where individuals are getting out of prison and the first thing they tell me is like, dude, I want to be of service. I want to be part of helping prevent the next generation from dealing with the pain and sorrow that I had to deal with or go through that stuff. And so so there's like that's those are my people. I want there to be a bridge or a pathway to success from prison. And so we're really that's what changing patterns is building this bridge where individuals who want to be part of the community as a pro-social and productive member can walk across and join because now there is a pathway.
Yeah, I that's great. Now, You mentioned studying a book, Think and Grow Rich. Let me ask you, what kind of mindset training or help goes into all of this? Because we do know it's mindset. We know that the way we think is the way we wind up. How do you deal with that with your program?
Yeah, so it's interesting, last week was Thanksgiving, so we had a gratitude week and talked about all that stuff like everyone does on Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
But gratitude is something we touch on almost regularly
Okay.
because gratitude is the one, and this is arguable, but is the one emotion or feeling that we actually can manufacture,
Hmm.
right? We usually like something happens to us and we're sad or we're happy or we're angry or whatever, feel joy or whatever that is. But like at any time, we can intentionally go, what am I thankful for? Like it's not snowing. I'm grateful for the sun out. I woke up this morning. I'm grateful for the eggs I got to make. Well, I heard a friend of mine say the other day in a presentation, the yolk didn't break in my egg in the morning when he was cooking it. That did not happen for me.
Oh, that's
But
great.
yeah, but finding like at any time we start talking about these things that we're grateful for, all of a sudden, if we keep going down this list, we start to smile. We realize that life is there's some positive things in life. There's things to be hopeful for. And that right there, that skill of using a gratitude list is a game changer because we and this goes for everybody. Life throws curveballs all the time.
Yep.
At any time, something can happen that can ruin your day.
Oh
Whether
yeah.
it's I forgot to grab my wallet on the way to work, the guy cut me off in the road, my boss was just being a complete douche today. I don't, whatever you want to call it. Like there's all sorts of reasons to um throw the day
Right.
into a tailspin. And that is one of the highest risk moments for individuals getting out of prison. Is something happened to them, and there's like a little, we say, my friend uses this 11 seconds. There's an 11-second window where we can make really, really bad decisions, reacting to our emotions. And our ability to use this gratitude, the skill of gratitude during those moments is really important. And why I target gratitude is because for individuals who have had everything stripped away from them, like when you walk into prison, your clothes, everything, you are stripped naked. You have nothing anymore. And
Right.
you are walking into a new environment, and you start with a pair of Chuck Taylors we call cruisers,
Mm.
and some blue jeans and blue shirt and a belt, and that's it, and a number, SID number. Mine's 1469275.
Oh
Never
my
forget that.
goodness.
And that's it. That's
Yeah.
all you have. And um when and a door that you can't open no matter how hard you try, you cannot open that door. And so when that is stripped away, everything is stripped away from you, on the flip side is we get this opportunity to be grateful for things that most people take for granted.
Mm.
And so, I mean, I can open my door if I want to. Like how, and it's silly, but
It's true.
there is something to be grateful for. Um, and so that's why we use gratitude as this key piece to maintaining a little bit of sanity. And if we're able to do that, and we talked about this last week, if we're able to do that, there's a much better chance that you'll be able to get through that 11-second window,
Hmm.
take a breath, and go, wait, hold on, keep moving forward,
Yeah.
call your support system, whatever that looks like. Um, so I don't know if I answered the question on that one.
Oh no, it's true. It's a
Mhm.
mindset, and
Oh, the mindset, yes.
yeah, yeah, gratitude is very foundational in mindset. And I can appreciate that because of what I do professionally with my coaching,
Hmm.
and I know that I have had to do that in really tough times. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't that long ago. Where I live is not it's nice, but it's not my ideal ultimate where I want to be. And so recently, I had kind of like a tap on the shoulder and go, you've got a nice place to live, you've got great neighbors. It's not perfect, but nothing is. And so when I started being grateful for what I had, and that means, I mean, down to drinking water, having food to eat,
Mm.
I mean, everything, like no matter what happens in life, there's always something to be grateful for. Matter of fact, one of my little habits and routines is I have a heart-shaped rock next to my bed on my table. And every night and every morning I touch it and say thank you for something. And
Yeah.
and so I gradually put that into practice. It makes a profound difference in our mindset.
It
Profound.
does. It does. And my when we're talking about individuals who are exiting prison and returning to the community,
Yeah.
a part of rebuilding relationships
Hmm.
is our attitude and how we step into those relationships. And if we're coming in with this fear and trepidation about like what are people going to think of me?
Oh, yeah.
Do they I'm coming up with these assumptions that maybe people don't trust me or they don't like me or they don't want any part of me. The way I am going to respond to that initially when I meet people is going to be really defensive and put off.
Yeah.
And that attitude right there is not the attitude to be coming back into the community that you may or may not have once harmed. So if we can step into our relationships with like our POs, treatment counselors, mentors, advisors, all those things with this attitude of gratitude. And then the other side is humility. So being willing to be teachable. We are going to, we have a much better experience in building relationships than per se some who get out and kind of have this expectation that something should be done for us or that I'm gonna start all my relationships hard because that's my defense mechanism and that's how I was in prison because that's how I kept safety. Whereas out here, curiosity and gratitude actually open up much more doors.
Absolutely. I imagine you deal a lot with very angry people coming out of prison. But how do you transition people from an anger attitude to you got yourself in there? Now let's own what happened. Do you have to deal with that very much?
Yeah, I mean, yes
There's
and no. I think
responsibility. Yeah.
yeah, one of the things that we do, how we set up changing patterns is that this is a place where you get the opportunity to do the work. So we're big on self-efficacy and we'll walk with you and we'll help advocate, but on the same time, like this is your responsibility. And so having that piece really uh um kind of filters people out who are looking for the handout rather than like the help and assistance to it.
Yeah.
Um, but when there was something I was to say about you said the responsibility piece.
Yeah.
Um, ownership, what I found is when a person takes ownership for their life, they take responsibility for their life, they actually get to have control in it. And there's freedom with control. There's also discipline that we have to have and self-discipline with that responsibility.
Right.
But if it's the PO's fault, if it's the community's fault, if it's your significant other's fault, then there's nothing you can do about it. You're just kind of at the you're just under the control of whatever other people say. But if we go, hey, if I go, it was my responsibility.
Mhm.
I got myself to where I'm at, which means it's my responsibility to figure out how to get out.
Yes.
If I take that, if I take that and I go, okay, that is my responsibility. Now I actually have, now I've become a decision maker in my own life.
Right.
And does that mean I have to do it alone? No. But what it does do is it allows me to be able to ask for help, which is really hard, but go,
Yeah.
hey, look. I want to get myself out of this situation and I want to get myself into that situation over there. I don't know how to, but will someone show me? And now all of a sudden, there you've opened up this door for someone to go, oh yeah, I've been there, I've done that, which is why we use people with lived experience to help guide people in that process.
Good.
And let me show you how to do that. Let me show you what I did to get there. And then you get to follow those steps. And that's why being teachable or having that humility piece is really, really important.
Yes, it is. Now, what do you just help men, or are you guys helping women, men, and all ages? Is there a guideline that you use, or are we open to just anyone that's willing? Come on.
Yeah, so our focus is individuals who have exited prison.
Right.
So men and women, and uh, primarily we focus on early reentry, so the first year. So if you got out of prison, we can get you through that first year. And our goal is to get you connected with those essential resources first, and then, like I had said, then start working on what you want your life to look like in the future. The other side of it, though, is that we also have community members who come participate in our weekly support groups. And so what we're finding is that just building this, like, we're building this tribe, and
Mhm.
it's not just returning citizens or people getting out of prison, but also community members who, one, support the cause and want to help build this, like I said, tribe that we're building. But then they're also getting benefits from that and finding some sort of benefit out of the process as well. But yeah, so our focus though is people who have released from prison back into Deschutes County and who are looking for a healthy support system.
Now, on that note, how can the community be more supportive or be the most effective in supporting what you're doing and these individuals that are getting assistance from you?
Come to the weeklies. So every Monday night, from 6 to 7:45. Right now it's at the downtown library, but we're about to change locations, which we'll post that on our website, changingpatternsinc.org. So it's changingpatternsinc.org.
Okay.
We get that change, we'll get that done. So come to the weeklies and just see what we have going on, and then from there, that there's always an opportunity to like share your experience if you're an expert at something. We've done workshops. We have this organization, No Belly Growls.
Oh,
This lady, Sunny Heisel, who teaches nutrition education. That's been great. We've had people from like the library teach digital literacy. So doing different workshops and stuff. We love that. Obviously, we're a nonprofit, so we take donations any time of the year. That you can easily do that from our website.
excellent.
Um, and then we also do group activities and
Okay.
volunteer service. So like the first Saturday of the month, we do volunteer at the family kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah, so you see a bunch of ex-convicts serving food there at the family kitchen. It's always great. Which is an important piece. Service work is a huge part. You hear about it in multiple recovery and sobriety things all over the place. A big part of self-worth is in service. And so we have that piece. And then also group activities. So for a lot of individuals who've spent a lifetime in a criminal behavior, a criminal mindset, they get out and they're like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore, but what do I do?
yeah.
Like, what is there? And so we've
Mhm.
done like zip lining, go bowling, we've done
Oh,
hikes, we've done like full moon hikes up Tumalo Mountain before, all sorts of things. So yeah, we're always looking for people who are interested in um uh leading a group activity.
sounds great. Now, I don't know why, but this question's coming out of what I think I remember. Have you written a book? Am I mistaken on that?
I have.
Okay, let's share that with our audience too.
I was gonna see if it's up here. I just gave the last one away recently. It's called the Returning Citizen Survival Guide,
Okay.
and it is let me see. No, it is you can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere. The book itself was written specifically for individuals who are inside to prepare for reentry, all
Right.
based on lived experience. And basically, what happened was we launched our mentor program uh, kind of in 2019. In February of 2020, I partnered with an organization that's been around for a long time in Oregon called Sponsors,
Okay.
where we went through their mentor orientation, and they generously gave us all their information, supported our like kind of more organized version of our mentor program, and we launched that February of 2020. I don't know if you remember, March of 2020,
Mm.
everything shut down.
Oh,
So we launched a person-to-person mentor program just days before person-to-person anything got shut off. So we went. So I mean, I had all this stuff in my head, and I just started punching the keys,
hmm,
and that ended up turning into the Returning Citizen Survival Guide, and written specifically for people who are preparing for reentry. But what I've been told by multiple people is not that it's just for people who are getting out of prison, but that anybody who's going through a transition period in their life. I call them mandatory transitions, and that is when something is happening to us, whether that we like it or not.
right.
So it could be a divorce, it could be graduating from high school or college, it could be changing your job for some reason, moving to a different place,
Hmm.
returning from the military,
Yeah.
getting out of prison. All of these things, they're changes that happen to us, whether we like it or not.
Right.
And when that happens, there's this transition period where we have to figure out who we want to be moving into this new place. And so
Yeah.
the book really talks about making a personal commitment to something like a big goal.
Hmm.
This personal commitment then becomes your filter
Okay.
to evaluate your decisions, your behaviors, your habits, the people who are in your life, and determine, if they're helping you move in the direction you want to go, or if they're hurting you. Because when we make a change, the things around us also change.
That's
And
true.
sometimes the people and our behaviors aren't necessarily the ones that are going to help us move into that next direction. And
Nope.
so, for example, one of my personal commitments is to put prisons out of business. Now, am I going to do that? That's a big thing. But what it does do is it gives me a forever goal or forever thing ahead, where
Yeah.
now I can always ask myself, is this next decision or is this person helping me move towards the direction of putting prisons out of business? And if not, then it's time for me to evaluate whether or not I should be continuing the behavior or maintaining the relationship. Or if they are, how do we dive into this a little deeper and stuff? And that's something that anybody can use anywhere. If you pick a direction,
Hmm.
pick a purpose, pick something, then simple, you have something to help filter you, especially in that 11 seconds that we were talking about.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
When it hits the fan and
Yeah.
you don't you might want to make a decision over here emotionally, but if you can take that moment and go, does it help me at this right here? And if
Right.
not, maybe I can reevaluate or take a breath or just don't do anything for a little bit and find out. So that's kind of where the book focuses on, and that's what we focus on within the group too, is um with the where do you want to go? So what find that personal commitment. And if someone doesn't have one, if you're like me when I got out of the hole, I don't necessarily know what I want to do with my life, but I know what I don't want. Absolutely, that's fine. But then that's the first thing that you need to be looking at is like what is it that I want to do? What direction do I want to go with this life now that things around me have changed? And
It's sense of direction because it's so easy to not have a direction in life. And I'm sure you've seen people, you said some we don't even have with us anymore,
Mhm.
that causes a lot of suicide and
Yeah.
feeling like you don't have any purpose, anywhere to go, anybody to support you. What you do is life changing and major transitioning. It really is. So anything else you'd like to share? We're going to wrap it up, but I want you to, because this is the title, you have shown me courage, confidence, and connections on the whole podcast here. You're a perfect example of someone who's had to walk through every part of that. And I'd like you to share anything from your heart as we wrap this up, whatever you want to share.
Huh. Um, I had a meeting today with someone who has been out for a few years, but has been on this really philosophical journey and wants to be part of making a difference, but also sees how difficult reuniting and reintegrating back in the community is. And so
Mhm.
I think a healthy community creates a sense of belonging for all of its members. And that means all of its members. And how we do that is we take responsibility by educating all its members in how to live pro-socially and productively in the community. Now, that doesn't mean we all have to be the same. A big part of that is accepting each other as our differences. But if we have some core values, um, that for us, we use the four agreements. Never assume, don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
Always do your best and be impeccable with your word. If you're going to apply those four agreements in your life, and it's difficult at times, a lot of the trauma and drama and trouble kind of goes away. But I think it's really easy for us as a community to try to ignore problems because we don't want to deal with them.
Right.
But the reality is, as a community, if we want it to be healthy, we have to take responsibility for it in some capacity.
Hmm.
And so, like for us, changing patterns, we want to take responsibility for educating individuals who are coming out of prison on how to live life productively and pro-socially, including etiquette and how to communicate and like how we respond to people in a way that's effectively.
Right.
And I understand that not everyone believes that everyone should have a sense of belonging or belongs.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if we don't, we're going to continue having these problems like the homeless issue and
Right.
mental health issues and drugs and crime and all these things. And so, if there's anything a community can do, community member can do, it is kind of understand that unless the entire, all members have a sense of belonging, there's still going to be issues. And how someone can create a sense of belonging for others is whatever your lived experience is, helping those people, whatever you went through in life and how you came through it and overcame it. The there are other individuals in the community that are going through that now and will value your guidance and education and support. So that's what I would say.
Yes, that's perfect. And educating the community is just as important. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really, really vital because of the biases and the thoughts of somebody once in prison, always a criminal. And that's not true. You've proven that, and you've got many people that have seen the effectiveness of what you're doing, which is amazing. And I'm so excited to have had you on here, and we're going to use this tool to educate even further.
Thank you, Janice. I'm really appreciative for creating this platform and
Well,
giving individuals an opportunity to share their message. And yeah, I'm really grateful for community members like you who are here to show that support too as well. So
yep, it's
thank you.
all about people getting their story out and making a difference. So,
Mhm.
thank you to all our listeners for Courage, Confidence, and Connections. Janice Devo signing off. as your host. And thank you again, Frank. And all of Frank's information you can get his will be after the podcast. We'll have his book link, the website, how you can be a part of this and donate because we can't do too much to make a difference. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.